So this is where I'm at in the project now. I got all my panels made up, and I went through last night and sanded them down. Just started getting them looking a little bit nicer. I still got to go through the face frame and get rid of all the glue and the pencil marks on there. Run the sander through, smooth everything out, and then on the back sides here, let's see if I can do this without the glass. There we go. I got a few spots, mostly just this. I think there's two on the top. The pocket holes I got to plug up. Put some wooden plugs in. So that's where I'm at right now. Got some other work I got to do on these other enclosures. But good day to be working inside. I decided to put some carrying handles on the back panel here. So I just drew out my little shape for my guide, and using my Forstner bit to get a nice square straight hole, and then I'll just zip the rest of that out with the jigsaw. So I'm gonna do one on each side just to assist in moving this sucker around, make it a little bit easier for us. Now I got this flipped over on the back side. Gonna come through with the jigsaw and cut it out. Got a little bit of tear out in here from coming through, but it's gonna get cut out anyway. So I'm gonna do both of those and then sand them flat. Maybe even take the router and run the router around to give it a little bit of a lip, a round over edge. Yeah, it feels pretty good. Well, I think this puppy's all done now. I went and added some pocket holes on the middle rail here. That way I got a way to fasten in the back to the sides. Got the handles all smoothed out. Pretty happy with how they came out, just with sandpaper. So I didn't end up running the router on them. But if that's what you want to do on your project, more power to you. So looking pretty good. I think I'm going to dry assemble this sucker and start seeing what it looks like full all together. At this point I got everything fully assembled. It's just fit into the grooves though, nothing's screwed in yet. So at this point in the project you can decide whether or not you want to make yours so if it to come apart, or you can glue everything so that it'll won't come apart. And I'm going to keep this model so that it will come apart, just because it's a pretty heavy model, and moving it around would be a bummer. So at this point I'm just making sure everything fits nice and tight, and test fit my top again here. Top fits right in really nicely. So, and now what I like to do is now that I know everything's fitting really good, and I've got my right angle brackets made up here. I made these the other day. These are going to go into some of the corners and fasten this, and no glue, that way you'll be able to take it apart if you need to. So everything on my unit is fitting so tight right now that I don't even need any clamps, but it's not a bad idea to clamp this. And so I'm going to go ahead and grab some clamps. clamp this sucker up before I start screwing it together. That way everything stays nice and square. Now I got everything clamped up. You want to make sure you're going through and taking the time to see that all your surfaces are lining up perfectly for you. So once you start shooting screws in, there's no going back. Well, you can always pull the screw out, but so you want to get it right on your first try. All my joints are looking pretty good here. Clamps on the top, bottom. At this point you could probably lift this sucker up, then it would hold its position. But what I'm going to do is go through and fasten on all the pocket holes that I've created here for this purpose, and then areas that don't have pocket holes, like this top corner, that's where I'm going to throw these right angle brackets in and screw those. So at this point it's pretty much just shoot and screw, pick a spot, shoot a screw in it. So I'm gonna start with the face frame, since that's really nice and clamped off right now. And I'm gonna start with that one right there. So I'm going to come in with my 1.25" pocket screw. Oh, you son of a gun. Put one right in there. There's not going to be any glue squeeze out on this, so I'm just going to go until it's snug. And then I'm going to come down on the other side and hit that screw. I'm just going to go until it's snug. Call that good. Now we got one more. I'm going to move to the bottom here. That one's good. Now I got you guys flipped around. I'm going to show you the installation of my right angle bracket on the top. That's going to finish off this side connection here. Oh, and I do want to also shoot a screw in this middle part. Here, I don't know if you can see that or not. It's going to hold that spot. And then I'm going to actually crawl right into this sucker. Oh. Ah. Okay. Oh, I'm enclosed. I guess that it's doing its purpose, keeping me enclosed in here. So with this, I do have a line on here. Make sure that I'm lined up in the back. It's looking good. Now I'm going to go for it. Oh yeah. Now that one is pretty good. I'm going to put a little more torque on it. This one, torque that one right up. Then just do a little bit more on that for now. Perfect. So now that's got a good spot for the top to sit on there. I'm going to do another one of those on the bottom here. It's going to be down there, supporting the floor. Down in this bottom corner here. Get you right in there to position, so you can see what's going on here. So I'm going to take this 3/4 inch material and put that right in my corner. That's going to be a spacer for height. Throw my brackets right in here. So now there's the left side. That's all nice and fastened securely. Now on the face frame, but we'll figure that out in a minute. All that side's looking pretty good. So let's see where we're at here. Zoom you guys out. We're gonna go do the same thing now on the right side. Just make sure that I can still see what's going on. And again, my spacer board, 3/4. Just get it nice and snug. Be able to take these right out when you go to move this and take it apart. I just have to pull all the screws out. Oh, I got one more in the middle too here I gotta hit. Pocket hole. There we go. Now this should be a pretty solid unit as is. I may put a couple more braces going across the center, across the middle here, just from front to back, help support the weight of the roof, and maybe do that with the floor. But honestly, I might not even need that. I don't even think I'm gonna do that. But it wouldn't hurt. It's just one more piece. We'll see. At this point, I think we're looking pretty good. So let me get on out of here. Oh, hey. And I'll throw the bottom in. Make sure the bottom fits good. And then I got to come in on the very front, bottom, and design a lip that'll hold the bottom, the basement floor. So I have the basement floor, and then the second floor, which will have a cutout for the access to the basement, and then the top. And the top's all done. Just throw it right on there. Fits in like a champion. So, well, there you have it. Now I'm just trying to figure out how I want to do the floor cutout. So I've got the piece that I had cut out from Nova's Enclosure upstairs, and notice it's got the rounded over edge just to protect them there so there's no sharp corners. And I'm going to use this piece. On Nova's Enclosure I had mounted it right up against this corner, but I think on this model I think I'm going to just move it back a little bit. So I'm going to have two rounded over edges here. When you go to put the bottom in and this is all assembled, it's only going to go in one way. So what I like to do is get it straight up and down and then push it straight to the back. You got to go perfectly straight up and down and side to side, and you want to go slow until you reach that rail in the middle. And then you're going to rest it on that and then slowly drop it down. Make sure your sides aren't getting caught. And then you just give it a little bit of persuasion and it'll go right into place for you. There you go. That's got pretty good amount of support there. It looks pretty good. That's all there is to it. Hole didn't come out perfectly square, but that's alright. I went and sanded it down so it's nice and smooth. No rough edges on there. And no corner points to get hurt on. I'm over at the bandsaw now, and I'm making my angle brackets for the bottom, for the face frame to the side, and I gotta get a little bit creative here. I'm gonna be cutting this off, so it's gonna kind of look like a half of a Christmas tree. So I got my what I'm gonna do is set up the saw for this width. I'll be able to cut both of the triangles lengthwise, and then I'll have to switch it over and do each side triangle separately. So here, I'll show you what I got going on. Lower this down just a little bit. So this is what I got, and I like to do these by hand, so I want to make sure that they're only going to fit in one way. So I got to make sure that this is my left hand and this is my right hand. So now what I'm going to do is come in the top here, start a pilot hole. Oh. And then go straight down. There's that side. And now this one, I can come out a little bit further. There's that side. There we go. Now I like to do a countersink on these, just to give it a nice finished look. For that, I've been just using the drill press. And a 3/8 inch Forstner bit. So make sure I'm coming in on the right face here. There we go. Those are perfect. They're only going to fit in one way. So that looks pretty good there. There we go. Now, nice and square in here. Nothing's fighting me now, so I'm going to sink this one in. There we go. Now that front is all solid. That was the last connection on the left. I just got to finish off the right side here. There it goes. There. That's it. I think that was the last screw on this puppy. So now I can throw the bottom in. Make sure that's going to be supported enough. I might have to just put a cross beam in the center. just to keep that plywood from bowing. But I think we're looking good. No more screws anyway. That's it.